Welcome, everybody. We've just had lots of people and names flying through the chat. We are in Norway, America, Australia, Thailand. That's just what I've noticed in the last couple of seconds. So, welcome, everybody from all around the globe. And I am so thrilled to introduce one of my business colleagues, besties. I just adore her so much. She is so smart, so thorough with her studies. Once she gets an idea, she just hones in. I've spent a bit of time with her now in two different cities, in two different trips. We're about to go again to another country in a couple of weeks. We're holidaying together in Thailand. Those
Oh, I think you got muted, Tracy.
There we go. So for those of you who are already in Ollie Life, you would have heard about the Thailand trip. Find out what the qualifications are for that and get yourself there. Stacey and I will be going together on that as well. We're so excited. But I've only been here in Ollie Life for 8 or 9 months. Stacey has been using this equipment for 3 years. And hundreds and hundreds of people have worked with Stacey to improve their health and have changes. Disclaimer, these machines feed the body. Stacey will go over that. They do not solve disease. We're not here to diagnose or do any of those things. We'll stick with compliance. But Stacey is your girl. You want to know something? Stacey would have seen it before and she would have helped people held their hand through it before. So without further ado, Stacey Maree, take it away. Thank you so much, my darling.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here with everybody from around the world. That's incredible. I myself have touched the healing lives of so many people across the world myself, so it's really cool to see that it's spreading even further and more people are learning about it because, when I came into this business 3 years ago, it was out of necessity because I was severely medically injured by two of those pokey things and basically on my deathbed for 561 days. And frequency was a very integral part of my healing story, actually, the cornerstone of my healing story. It turned me around within 48 hours. About 80% of my symptoms just dissipated. But I don't want to focus on my story tonight. I want to focus on the stories that came after that and came from me just taking this thing by the reins and just digging in and learning everything there was to know about this incredible technology. So, as you can imagine, 3 years ago, it was like a skeleton crew of us that were talking about this tech. And I just kept talking about it, kept talking about it, met so much resistance because, a lot of people think that frequency is woo. It's not something you can tangibly see. It's not something you tangibly take. So people are like, yeah, that sounds like a bunch of woo woo. It doesn't really resonate with people unless they see an incredible testimonial like mine. So I used my testimonial to reach people and get them to give it a shot. And one of the things I focused on when I began teaching this tech was I wanted the critical cases. I wanted people that were really, really sick, like me. I didn't want simple, hey, I just want to feel better. I want to have more energy people. I wanted people that were in the pits of hell, like I was. So I kept seeking them out and I kept attracting those types of complex cases. And over the past 3.5 years now, hands-on client work has been with the most medically complex cases that you could imagine. And when I first started observing things with hands-on client work and research notes and all of that, I didn't really realize what I was watching at the time, but over time and studying physiology and biology and terrain and all of those things, I realized that the reason that this technology is so magical is because it focuses on nervous system communication. So if the body's nervous system is dysregulated, you can throw $1 million supplements down your throat, doesn't matter, because if the nervous system isn't happy, ain't nobody happy. So I kept noticing this pattern over and over again, time and time again, that people would have all of these wonderful supplements, the top of the line. They're getting stem cell treatments, they're getting, IVs, doing HBOT, all of these things that should be helping them, right? But none of those other modalities were actually taking hold until we got their nervous system where it needed to be. So what the machine is doing is when you put your feet on it, a lot of people don't know this, but it's actually creating a biomagnetic field around the entire body. And what does that mean? Well, that means that your body is getting an electrical safety signal. We're supposed to be getting that from the sunshine, from the earth, from our drinking water, all the things that we've been disconnected from in nature is how we're usually supposed to get that safety signal for the nervous system. So since we're not getting that, a lot of us are dysregulated and our bodies think we're basically being chased by a tiger. So we're in survival mode constantly, and our body never stands down, never comes out of that sympathetic, hypervigilant state. And so we're constantly sick. We become reactive to everything, ingredients in food, light, water, sound, all of it. Our nerves become sizzly. We get headaches, we get nausea, we have gut issues. All of that is controlled by the nervous system. And so when you get on the machine, it's bypassing all of that other stuff that we've missed out on because we've been disconnected from nature, and it's giving you that signal to stand down. So when you get on the machine, a lot of people will notice this if you've experienced the machine already. A lot of people will report they get sleepy afterwards. Well, that's because it is physically telling your nervous system to stand down and go into that parasympathetic state. So parasympathy is usually only reached during sleep, as a normal function. You're usually in parasympathy during sleep, but even the most dysregulated people are not reaching parasympathy because they're so dysregulated, their body just can't figure it out. Their electrical patterns are all fried. So what I saw over and over again was the people's nervous system standing down, their symptoms quieting, their reactivity quieting, their circulation improving, their nutrient absorption improving, their oxygen saturation improving. Their cellular membrane potential is also something that is magnified. So the membrane potential is like kind of closed off when you're super reactive. And then when you get relaxed, the cells kind of open up and then they're able to communicate and carry those electrical signals through the body. And guess what? All of those electrical signals are what your body needs to know how to self-heal because we're self-healing machines. But across the board, everybody's missing that electrical signal. And it's been disrupted by years of bad diets, years of environment. I mean, these devices we're on right now, they all mess with the electrical system in the body. So that is the most amazing piece of it, is that I didn't understand what I was looking at when I was first doing it. I was just like, wow, this is working. I mean, I was seeing people going from not being able to walk to jogging within a week. I've seen people come out of wheelchairs. I've seen people with like seized up hands from strokes unfurl. I've seen all kinds of things reverse that they say are not reversible, such as MS, lupus, COPD. That's just a few of them that I've seen. And I have 3.5 years of data that I've stored and notated because I'm like, if they ever take me out, somebody's got to have all this information that I have compiled and proven over and over again. So I don't really know where you want me to go with that, Tracey. What else would you like me to talk about? Because I could go on and on and on. This tech is absolutely life-changing, and it is a system that is missing in everybody. Everybody is electrically deficient. They're not producing the amount of voltage and the ATP required to run those self-healing systems in the body. And that's why if you poke around these testimonial groups, you'll see like these miraculous looking testimonials. You're like, that can't be true. But I'm here to tell you it is absolutely true. Physiologically, biologically true. Another thing I want to touch on too is that when you're using frequency and you get the voltage up in the body, your body will naturally get rid of parasites and biofilms. So there's a big push for people to go in and kill off parasites. And that is absolutely against what I believe. I don't believe we should be going in and doing kill things in the body. I believe that we should be getting the terrain back into its healthy state, which is very much dependent on electricity. And when you get the terrain into that state, I see client after client. I just had one that messaged me today. Hey, I'm passing parasites. Is this normal? Yes, absolutely. Because guess what? Those parasites are there to keep your body in a neutral place because it's trying to give you that adaptability to where it's going to make you, basically the toxins can't take over if the parasites are there. So if you have parasites, they're actually a good thing. A lot of people don't know that, but if they're there, they're actually helping you in the moment, and they're actually giving you a clue that you need to do some work on your terrain. So when we correct that terrain, we will see the parasites just come out, and also biofilms come out, because that's where all of the co-infections like Lyme and bacteria your immune system can't find, those hide out in the biofilms. When you get that voltage up in the body and get that membrane potential where it should be, those things cannot survive in the body, and your body's detox pathways open, things start coming out, and your body learns again what it's supposed to do electrically. It's the coolest thing ever.
I love that, Stacey. This is actually why you are one of the most important speakers in our whole organization. Everybody loves you. It's already showing up in my inboxes. Now, I do have a question by a lovely lady
Yeah.
named Rosanna. I know Rosanna, she's from here in Australia. Is it possible to get too much frequency and fry the nervous system?
So yeah, actually, you should pace yourself. You don't want to overdo frequency because your nervous system is already dysregulated. We know that. That's just a default. Everybody's is. But some people are more dysregulated than others. So pacing becomes an issue. So you can push it too far the other way and make yourself more reactive if you don't pace yourself and do it at the right pace for your body. So I tell everyone, low and slow. That's where you live. Make sure you have plenty of water, plenty of minerals, and low and slow. And that's the safest way to do it. This is not a race. I know the machines and the devices go up to higher levels, but I have clients that have been using them for years. They don't ever go past like a level 5. And that's totally fine because that's what their body wants. It's all about listening to what your body is asking for and not trying to compete and push push yourself into a race of like, oh, I got to get to a level 10. I got to do this many minutes, adding and stacking it if you're in a dysregulated system is just not wise. And like for the Olylife devices, there's multiple things. So like I use the goggles. I do my goggles twice a day. I do my machine twice a day. That's fine because that is centering on the eyes. It's a different section of the body, portion of the body. The one in the goggles is a very, very low pulse. So I'm fine with stacking that one. If somebody's using like the shaken, just take it easy. Just listen to your body. If you use the device and you feel like it's pushed you too far the other way, the easiest way to get past that is to take some minerals and drink a lot of water. But yeah, you've just got to listen to those body clues. And those clues would be like the wired but tired feeling, maybe not having a good time falling asleep, things like that. So yeah, just take it easy. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
And Stace, when we come in too strong, we call these hercs. Can you just go over that with the folks here of what to look for if a client rings or the person you've introduced rings and says, my legs are staying too hot for too long, or just do that little short list for us.
So yeah, it's going to look like flu-like symptoms. So some nausea, you might get a headache, tiredness, sweating. Sweating is one of them. Any type of like symptom flare where like, say for instance, they're getting on there for neuropathy pain, and then all of a sudden their neuropathy is like, whoa. It just means they went too fast for their body. They just need to dial it back. And again, lots of hydration and minerals will take care of that and get them back to baseline pretty quickly.
And when we say dial it back, we mean dial it back through the settings, so back to one, and the time. The time
Yes.
spent on there is very important as well. And you would
Yes.
see that in people that are showing signs of an upset body, say
Right.
with a label of or a diagnosis of some sort. They're typically the ones that we were really protective of with the low and slow. Not to be feared, the machines aren't to be feared, but they are a force. They're a serious they have serious capabilities, don't they, Stay? So we do have to
Well,
be
I like to
use
think
with
of it as
caution.
like, um, there's no need to do too much time. I always say I start all my people out on a level 1 for 10 minutes.
Mm.
Full disclosure. That's where I start everyone. Why? Because that 10-minute session is going to tell me how their body handles the frequency without giving them a detox, without, harming them, but also enough to give them effects that they feel too. So 10 minutes is plenty, and that's where I start people. And their body will instantly start giving them feedback. And remember, after that first session, it's lasting for 12 hours. Okay. So you can't go, oh, I didn't feel anything for 10 minutes, and within an hour be like, oh, I need to hop on for another 10 minutes. No, you got to wait that whole 12 hours and see what your body tells you. So yeah, it's all about pacing. And like I said, it's different for everyone. You don't want to sucker punch your nervous system if it's dysregulated. You want to take your time and slowly introduce it because it's been dysregulated for a long time. It's not received this signal for a long time. time. And the nervous system is always going to try to go back to what's comfortable for it. Even if that's been dysregulation for years and years, it's going to kind of bucket if you do it too fast. So easing yourself into it is always the best way to go. It's absolutely working. Even if you can't feel anything while you're on it, it's doing a ton of work physiologically, internally, even if you can't feel it.
And Stace, we could do one of two things here, one of three,
Yeah.
maybe even. Um,
Okay.
if you maybe could share a couple of stories of some aha incidences that you've witnessed with people whilst they were using the machine, or we could open it up and have a couple of questions. What would you prefer?
Um, we can do, I like questions. I feel like questions are the best way for everybody to learn. And then when somebody asks a question, they might think of another question, so I'm totally cool with questions. While we're waiting for some questions though, I will share that I had a very stubborn client, a male client, go figure. And I told him the whole thing, please don't crank it up. Please don't do this. Well, he didn't listen to me. And he kind of disappeared off the face of the planet for a couple weeks. And I'm like, hey, dude, are you okay? And he's like, actually, no. The reason that he got the machine and the device was because he had arthritis in his knee. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was actually diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and all of that stuff was reversed. So I explained my story to him and my, success with the machine with him. And so he was super excited, but a little too excited because he totally blew past my pacing instructions and decided to crank it up because he wasn't feeling anything tangibly, physically, which you're not going to if you pace yourself correctly. You won't feel much at all. You'll just start noticing results. So I get a hold of him and he's like, my whole knee is locked up. I haven't been able to walk. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? So guess what? It took me about 3 weeks of telling him how to schedule minerals, magnesium, mineral salt, and hydration, and like very slow pacing with, we're talking like a minute on the machine, a minute every few hours is what I was having him do to get his body to go back the other direction, because he basically sucker punched his nervous system and just made it completely freak out. So his body was like, ah, tiger, even more so than it was when he got to me. So yeah, that's a cautionary tale for sure.
Fight or flight, instant fight or flight, and then you have to be so nurturing. I love that advice you gave him. So before we
Yep.
open some mics, Josie has asked, Josie's from Brisbane. I have a customer that has asked this question. She had facial nerve damage that caused paralysis of the face. Sorry,
Paralysis.
my dyslexia.
That's okay.
Upper body and arms. Can she use the face device on the P90 Plus? She's worried it will harm her.
No, it won't harm her. Actually, when you have paralysis of any type, it's nerve damage. The nerves have lost their ability to communicate. So in a case like that, I would make sure she's doing plenty of minerals, because minerals are what carry the voltage across the cell. So people do have to do minerals. Mineral salt, dissolved in water, a quarter teaspoon sipped before their session is totally fine. We just want to make sure that minerals are a part of the focus, because that's how the nervous system and the nerves and the cells, they all communicate, is through the minerals. That's what carries that charge across the cells. So it's absolutely not going to harm her. It will wake things back up though. And as she's waking things back up, she's going to feel things like tingles and zaps and things like that. I would just let her know to expect those sensations, because when somebody has been through something traumatic like that, it can be very jarring to start to feel the sensation. So it's making it worse. And then you panic and then it gets worse. So I always coach my people, hey, take a deep breath. Understand that we haven't talked to these cells and these nerves for a long time, and we're going to be going in there and kind of waking things up. So it's completely normal to feel sensations. It doesn't mean that things are getting worse. It means that we're opening back up those neurosynapses, getting those neurons firing the way they should be again. And that sensation can be disconcerting at first.
Okay, thank you, Stace. That's lovely. Jose, I love that answer. We do have some medical questions in here. We
Okay.
we do we don't answer medical questions. We always first go back to the physician to run things by doctors. Legally, that's our answer to everything. I will read
Yep.
Robin's question, and
Okay.
you can express how our machines would assist the body in this scenario. My sister has a
Sure.
rare stomach cancer that at this stage could have spread to the bladder. She has had a year of chemo and tons of natural therapy. She has made lots of progress, but it looks like it's spreading. So, how do
Okay.
machines assist the body to do what it's designed to do in this scenario, Stace?
Well, again, this is not medical advice. Everything that I teach is based in physiology and biology. So, one of the things that really fascinated me about, PEMF and terahertz when I started studying it is that neither one is actually designed to attack cancer directly, but what they appear to do is to support the systems that the body relies on to heal and regulate and protect itself. Okay, so research on PEMF shows that the effects on circulation are very positive with PEMF. Cellular communication is improved, inflammation is improved, mitochondrial function is improved, oxygen utilization is improved, immune signaling is improved. So, that's just the PEMF piece. And then we have the terahertz. Okay. So research on the terahertz shows that it influences the water dynamics and the cellular signaling and the tissue communication more specifically. So when you look at people struggling with any type of chronic disease, including cancer, we often see those common improvement patterns, and the common patterns in their body before they start improving with this, the devices is that they're going to have the poor circulation and the chronic inflammation and the cellular stress and energy production problems, the nervous system dysregulation. So the body cannot function optimally when all of those systems are struggling at the same time. So the way that I explain it is that the body already knows how to heal. The question is whether the body's communication systems are functioning efficiently enough to do that job. So take from that what you will.
You've got this down pat, Stace. I love it. Okay. Who would like to have a chat to Stacey in regards to, oh, hi, Robin, take it away. Oh, you've still got your mute. Yeah, you go.
Thank you for that, Stacey. That
You're very welcome.
it makes total sense to me because she actually is a walking miracle even now. But these sorts of things is exactly right, that our body is created to help to heal itself. But could I ask your advice in saying that? What product would you recommend? She, as I said, it's in her stomach area, and I've got the two thoughts. It's either the wand, the PMF, the P90, or the shaken, or a combination.
I mean, I would say that she could do the shaken and the P90 for two reasons. The P90 does the whole entire body, and obviously we want to correct the entire terrain at
Yeah.
once. We want to support the whole thing. But because she does have a type of, stomach cancer, it would not hurt to put that shaken belt right there and do, centralized sessions with that because it's going to get the frequency much closer to that area. And
Yeah.
with the shaken technology and how it gets in there and busts up all kinds of things that shouldn't be there, like fat and all of that, that will really help improve the terrain around that area specifically.
Yeah, the heat I could imagine because she actually relies a lot on the wheat bag just for some sort of
Yes.
soothing. There's not much,
Yes.
she hasn't got much fat on her after what she's been through, but yeah,
Well, yeah, but it does still do cellular cleanup in a more concentrated way. So yeah, I do think that those
oh,
both would be beneficial for sure.
thank you. I've sent her a lot of information, but she's not come back to me. So I'm going to send some of this. I've been, yeah, taking some notes. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Thanks,
no problem.
Robin. Thanks, Robin. There's one thing for sure. This is like the wheat bag of the future. It definitely is, isn't it, Stace? It feels like
It is.
it's the same concept. We're putting heat into the body. It just has all those beautiful added things. Plus, I've got goosebumps even just saying that. Thank you, Robin.
Yep.
And Deb, take it away from Melbourne.
Yeah, hi. Just a quick question, which probably sounds stupid. We're fairly new onto the P90, but in reading things I've read, it says to have 4 hours between each session, but you said before about 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
should you,
So
is the longer between each session better?
It is, and I want to stress this. It doesn't have to be exactly 12 hours, but the frequency can last and have effects up to 12 hours. So I try to tell my people to space it as close to 12 hours as possible. Now, that's not always feasible, and that's okay. The more important thing is doing it at the same time every day. Why? Because we're giving that safety signal to the body. So when your body understands that it's getting that safety signal at the same time every day, you'll have better results because it learns to depend on that signal. Like, oh, I can relax. I don't have to start amping up because I know it's coming, kind of thing. Your body adapts to that timing more than anything else. So if you're kind of person that can do it every 8 hours, that's fine. Just make sure you wait at least 4 hours in between so you're not stacking it too much in the body.
And the other one was too, I recently heard that you should unplug it, and because hubby and I are both using it, and have 20 minutes between each person using it.
Yeah, I do think it's good to let the components cool down. Yes. Just because wear and tear, it's an expensive machine. We don't want to put extra wear and tear on those components in there and get them too hot. It does have safety features in it to not allow it to get too hot, but I personally, when I'm spending that much money on a device, I'm gonna err on the side of caution. So when I've done like in-home demos with family and extended family and stuff, I make sure that they give it a little cool down in between.
Thank you. Appreciate.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Deb. And now we have the beautiful Michelle from Sydney. Okay, take it away, Michelle.
Hi, Stacey. Hi, Tracy. The question I wanted to ask was my friend purchased a machine,
Mhm.
but recently she's also bought Reda or
Okay.
peptide. I
Okay.
just wanted to know, what do I advise her to kind of look out for, because I'm not aware of having the P90 and Reda, what it will do. I don't know if it'll heighten it or...
So actually, in that you're talking about retatrutide, is that what you're talking about? The shot?
Yeah.
Is that what you're? Okay. So when it comes, there's no contraindications, just so you know. There's no contraindications outside of pacemakers. That's the only contraindication that you should follow. As far as like pharmaceutical supplements, anything like that, no contraindications. What I will say is when you're taking something that is potentially damaging to the internal organs, such as a semaglutide, she's actually better off using the machine because it's going to protect her from some of that damage that she could sustain. One of them being, when you're on those types of shots, you're going to stop absorbing nutrients like you should. The machine will kind of bypass that and make it so you're still absorbing nutrients better than you. I mean, she's still not going to absorb them as well if she didn't take it, but it will help her keep that absorption up so that she doesn't end up with, the emaciated look and all of that stuff. So it's not going to make the effects of the drugs change at all. It's actually just going to protect how much damage they're doing on the inside. It's going to protect her from that.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Whoops, I was talking on mute. Thank you, Michelle. That is a really relevant question, and that will be applying to a lot of people, unfortunately, in the world right now. So good ask. Isabella, it's your turn.
Hi, ladies. I don't know, some of you may have seen a post I did the other night with my husband. He's had his leg amputated, and his other leg has really poor circulation. His good leg, or half good leg, he's still got a whole leg, but it's not in good condition. And so he was wanting to use the machine. I've got the P90 Plus. So he put his foot on one, and I put my foot on one, and it still didn't work. But once we touched each other, you could see the frequency on that little man on the P90 Plus. That was that started to work. So is he still getting benefit, and am I getting benefit at the same time?
Well, he's going to get a better benefit if he's using his hands
Yeah,
because
he
he wants to
does
be the
use,
one to
yeah,
complete. Yeah, he
he
wants to
does
be the one
use
to
his
complete that
hands.
circuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he will get a better effect when he uses his hands on the machine. So, yes, he will get some benefit doing it the way you were talking about, but the best benefit is for him to have both points of contact connected to his body. Yeah.
Yeah. He does do 10 minutes on his hands, but he just felt he needed, because that foot hasn't got that circulation in, and it's cold. He thought, it's better to get the foot on it as well.
Well, the circulation is going to improve in the entire body, no matter if you put feet or hands on it. Now, you're going to feel more
Okay.
warmth in the feet or warmth in the hands wherever it's attached, but that doesn't mean that the circulation overall isn't getting touched. The whole body gets affected, no matter if it's hands or feet. So yeah, he's better off to do his hands.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Do you have the wand, Isabella?
Yes, I do.
The wand on his foot. The wand on his foot's just like alarm bells going in my head would be amazing for him. Do you agree, Stace? It's
Oh yeah,
On the
if you want
bottom
to
of his
encourage
foot.
blood flow in a specific area with the wand, that's it. Like the vitality wand, a lot of people don't know this, but that's what I started with, was a wand. So it is great for doing isolated things like hemorrhoids, sores on the foot, cold, like Raynaud's syndrome, like the hands that turn yellow. I've seen people's
Yeah.
hands go back to normal color with the wand. So yeah, it's excellent for getting the blood boogieing in a specific area wherever you point it.
Yeah, he did do his hands on the plates too long. I walked away and did something, and he come back and it was still on, and his hands went white as.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I said,
Yep.
God, that looked like Raynaud's you've got there going
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
As he's recalibrating, you're gonna see that he'll go yellow in some places, darker red in some places, and that's because the body's trying to figure out what it's supposed to be doing again. It's trying to open up those pathways. It's gonna steal blood from one place, put it over here, especially like the frequency is very intuitive. So if he has any kind of organ stress, like his heart's under stress, liver, kidneys,
yeah.
it will take the blood and literally send it to that area first because it needs it the most. So yeah, you'll see stuff like that happen. It's totally normal.
Okay. So on the bottoms of his feet with the wand, or
Yes.
all over the foot?
You can do the entire leg. If it feels cold, you can just wave it back and forth. And you can also use the warm
Yeah.
setting to start encouraging some blood flow there even more so. Because the cool setting works and brings blood to the area, but the warmth helps it happen even faster.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So
You're very welcome.
Isabella, you just
Thanks,
need
Isabella.
to find another excuse to cuddle on the couch now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isabella
It
and her
was
hubby's
quite
from
nice
New
sitting
Zealand.
close like that too.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. Remove pen. Okay, Helen's turn. Take it away, Helen.
Just trying to right, I'm unmuting myself. So I've had my device for about 4 months, and
Okay.
last Tuesday I had pins taken out of my ankle, plates taken out of my ankle, and I know you're not meant to use it with open wounds, blah, 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 but it's me. I'm happy to be my own guinea pig. So the first day I got on it and I had tingles right up to my hip. So I had the operation on Tuesday. This is last Wednesday, tingles up to my hip. The next day it was about normal, and I only went on one, whereas before I was about 8-ish. But I had 2 days, and since then I have not been able to put my foot on it in one. It just burns. So are you able to explain why it burns? And I understand it's probably my body going, no, you don't need it. So I'm using my wand or it's too much and whatever. And I know I'm breaking all the rules. So yeah. Disclaimer, I broke the rules, but I want to help quick.
Well, I mean, I can't say that I haven't broken the rules too. I had a foot injury last year, broke the rules. It happens, right? Because we trust in the tech, so we experiment, right? But when you have a surgery like that, it's very catastrophic to the body, right? So that's a big hit on the nervous system. And my guess is well, it's not my guess, it's what I've seen over and over in the field is that if you feel any type of burning, stinging, tingling, anything like that, it's showing you that you need more minerals. And so because you went through a whole surgery, that is incredibly taxing on the nervous system, and your nervous system kind of kicks into high gear, and you're going to drain those mineral reserves big time. So what I would do if I were you is I would focus on magnesium and unrefined salt, trace minerals if you have them. Get those nice and juicy for about 72 hours. That means you're taking trace minerals or mineral salt all day long, taking magnesium like 3 times a day. Get those reserves nice and high again, and then try it again and see what you feel. Because everybody that I've ever dealt with that feels those burning sensations, it's because their minerals are in the toilet.
Wow. Okay. Hey, thank you very much, because minerals are awesome. And honestly, this time around is a cinch, because 18 months ago I broke my tibia and fibula, and that was
Oh,
traumatic.
wow.
This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
cinch.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
minerals on their way. Hey, thank you very much for the explanation.
Yeah,
Cool.
you're very welcome. And I just want to touch on that. When you're feeling the physical sensations, which some reps will be like, crank it up till you feel it. You don't want to feel it, because when you feel it, you're reaching that threshold. Your body has a threshold of how many minerals it has in the cells to carry that charge throughout the body. So if you're feeling a burning heat, hot or sensation, the voltage is actually stagnating. It's not making it across the cell like it should, because the minerals are not there. That's why you feel the sensation. So we want no sensations. The goal is nothing. We want to get on there and feel nothing, maybe a little warmth towards the end of your session, but that's about it.
Yep. So I'm just using the wand now.
Yep.
Both of my machines are out at the moment anyway. They're being loaned out, but the wand it's lovely. I think I might use it as
Oh, yes.
a heater under here as well. I'm sure it's better than using a heater, because it's got none of that rubbish
Yeah.
in it. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
You're
And
welcome.
with the wand is a lot more forgiving on highlighting your mineral deficiency. It's a lot more forgiving, but also remember, when you're using the wand, it's going to increase your mineral, your cells are going to be drinking more minerals because you're increasing that circulation, even if you're not feeling it like you do with the P90. So get those minerals up early and you'll be good.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
You're very
Ellen.
welcome.
And now we have Elizabeth. I'm not sure where Elizabeth is from. Maybe start with that for us, lovely.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm in Shell Cove in New South Wales in Australia.
Beautiful.
And,
Not far from
and
me.
my question is, I've actually got a question and I'd love to share a testimonial of why I started getting into this. But my question is, you were just talking about contraindications being the pacemaker, but I've also
Yes.
seen about PEMF with breastfeeding and pregnant women not to go there. And the reason I bought the Vitality wand in the first place is because my daughter shattered her kneecap, and she's just had a little girl. So I'm a grandma for the first time. But also, now I'm like, how is she going to be chasing after this little toddler in the future
Right.
when she's got a walking stick at 33? And so
Yeah.
she's had 2 operations on it. Yeah, like if she's breastfeeding and it says not to do PEMF during that, what are your thoughts, or what do you know?
Well, the reason that they caution against the breastfeeding when using frequency is because frequency can have a detox effect. So it can knock things loose, possibly in her body, that could be passed into the breast milk. So if it were me and I was in that situation, I would just take a binder. I would take a binder and proceed with the frequency, because the healing that she's going to receive from the frequency is so beneficial. And if she's taking a binder when she's using the frequency, that's not going to pass to the baby. So I'm absolutely against using it while pregnant, but breastfeeding is kind of a gray area for me. And I do have breastfeeding clients that have used it with a binder.
Okay, yeah. She's not on the same path as me. Her and her husband are in different, so I'll speak to them and see if that happens or not. But I'll just quickly share. I bought the Vitality wand because of that, because of my daughter, only to find out we couldn't use it. She was pregnant at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
my husband said, I know someone that's had 10 years of chronic lower back pain on prescription medication, doing 2-hour physio and massage once a week, $200 a pop, just to maintain the pain. Do you think this will work? So we went, let's try it. I don't know. Let's get the
Mm-hmm.
feedback. put him on the machine, the 45-minute, timer, and that's been about 10 weeks ago, and no pain ever since.
Wow.
No
Yeah,
pain.
that's so cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That
Yeah.
that's
Off
awesome. I
everything.
hear
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the pain thing is a huge one, and it's because of the terahertz. The terahertz is going in there and opening up the teeny tiny little microscopic capillaries that other things can't do. PEMF can't reach that on its own. So the blend of the PEMF and the terahertz is why it's excellent for pain, because guess what? When you go in there and wake up those tissues and get the cells communicating like they should, they get the nutrients, the oxygen, the hydration that they've been lacking, and that's what causes the pain to begin with. So yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for your share, Elizabeth. And now we're back over to Lucia, also from Australia. All the Aussies here today.
Thanks, Tracey. Thanks, Stacey. Really great call. My question is, with the wand, will that support? I've got the 3 machines, the goggles, the shaken, and the P90 Plus. Would the wand support a little bit more with the circulation? I'm still getting that feeling of circulation. It still hasn't gone down, so I get that swelling on the legs and it feels like the skin is splitting. I'm having minerals, I'm having the magnesium, and also with the wand, will it help with supporting hair that's shedding?
So when you're taking minerals, what kind of minerals are you taking and how often?
Well, the minerals that I'm taking is from Young Living, so that's, I don't know, it's supposed to be a good one, and I'm
Okay.
taking that twice a day. So I'm taking three droppers twice a day, and I'm having magnesium, 2 magnesiums a day.
Okay. I would take a
Isolate.
look into it at a health food store near you. Look for something called ionic minerals. So
Okay.
when you have chronic inflammation in the body, you're not going to absorb like you should. So you could have the best minerals on the planet
Yeah.
and they're just going nowhere because they're not getting into the cell. So if you look for something called ionic trace minerals, they jump right into the cell. And it's usually an absorption issue that you're facing. That's why your hair is shedding too. So you're taking the minerals, but your body's not absorbing them.
Yeah.
You can also try, instead of taking them, orally, holding them under your tongue sublingually, you'll absorb a lot more. Also, you can put I don't know if it's drops or whatever with the Young Living, but you can put those in water and just take teeny little sips. Because another thing that happens with minerals is if you overdo it, your body will just send them through. You're just not going to get anything from it because it's too much of a shock to the system because you're so minerally deficient that your body will be like, we don't need that. Just send it through. So tiny little sips, leaving it under the tongue, try that. You can even get just mineral rock salt and try that as well under the tongue, because it's all about absorption, and bypassing those absorption issues are tricky if you have been, chronically inflamed. So I wouldn't say that the wand is going to help with that. It's actually probably going to do the same thing because you're not getting the minerals in. That's why you're retaining the water. Once you get the mineral sufficiency up, that water will come right off. You'll pee it out in a day. So kind of play around with it. It's all about absorption.
Okay. Thanks, Stacey. I really appreciate that, love.
Oh, you're very welcome.
You can call Stacey Tracey and Tracey Stacey. We're used to it now, aren't we?
Yes. Happens all the time. It's fine.
All the time. I love that. Okay. Well, we have been here for 45 minutes. There's nobody else with their
Can I
hands up.
ask,
Oh,
can
Shirley,
I
Oh,
ask a question?
go for it,
Hi.
Shirls.
hey,
Sorry.
Shirley.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm
Just
great.
a
How are you?
question. Yeah, well, don't ask. I'm sort of struggling a bit. I'm using the Therapy 90 plus the shaken and the eye thing. But I
Mhm.
mean, since I had the vaccine injury, I've always got this pain across my chest, right? And I can't
Mhm.
work out why it's always there. And it sort of seems to hurt a bit more when I go on the P90 plus. I only have it on one. And
Mhm.
then I've just had to run out for a bit in the car, and like sitting in my car is agony. And I'm just wondering why this is happening all the time. Because I mean, I've had it for years, but it just doesn't seem to go.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question. What
Yeah.
is your routine with minerals every day? Are you taking minerals every day? How often are you taking them and what type?
I'm just taking them every time I'm on the P90 plus.
Okay, so you're going to need to take them all day long. What I would recommend for you, if you were my client, is take a 48-hour break off of all of your devices, all your frequency, and just focus on minerals, taking them in everything that you drink all day long, including taking some magnesium 3 times a day as well. The
Right.
reason for that is you're going to feel those sensations. And remember, your heart is very electrical. So if you're minerally deficient, you're going to feel it here. I used to have those pains all the time with my vaccine injury. So, and I didn't know what it was either back then because I was just miserable. But what I've learned through working with my own body and with clients is that you have to have really nice, juicy, minerally sufficient cells for your body to stop all those little weird twinges and aches and, you know, the weird, it's a very like tight, weird feeling that I would get.
It is.
And
Yeah.
that, yeah, yeah, that's pointing to the fact that you're minerally insufficient. You need more minerals. And it's because you're giving your body the right thing with voltage, but your cells don't have any way to conduct that voltage because the minerals are not sufficient enough.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know, something's pushing my chest out all the time and then it's aching all
Yep.
across. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, that's very common. A lot of cardio pain like that with the vaccine injuries. I had it too, and lots of my clients are vaccine injured. So it's a very common thing, and it's always lack of minerals.
Okay. All right. Thank you, darling.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Shirley. I've written that
Okay.
down for you, Shirl, so we will reconvene on that.
Okay.
So don't worry, you rest. Shirley's with me, so thanks, Stace, for that insight.
Oh, yeah, you've got a contact for that. Yeah, minerals are so important when you're using frequency. And we're all walking around minerally insufficient, don't realize it because we're not getting it from the water, the food, you know, none of the places we're supposed to be getting that replenished is happening anymore. So we just have to be very conscious of that, adding it to our, you know, food when we eat and cook and all of that. And then also extra on top of that.
Yep, I love it.
Sorry,
Okay,
can I
so-
ask a question? Should I still take the Unicity?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, but again, minerals are super important with that too, and we can talk
Okay,
about
all right.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the lovely Kirsten. Where are you from, Kirsten? Which part of the world?
Hi, I'm from Sydney. How you going?
Good, thank you. Take it away.
Thank you. I'm fairly new to all of this. I haven't actually purchased the product yet. I actually went to Elizabeth's house the other day and trialed it. But my main reason to jump on here today is my dad had a heart transplant 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I just want to ask whether this would be a good option for him to try, like either soonish or should I wait? Where he's at the moment, his heart's perfectly fine, pumping, he's doing everything all on his own. It's just the rehab. He's lost a lot of muscle and the strength more so in his legs and in his arms just from the long journey of being unwell for so long. So yeah, that's just, he's obviously on a lot of anti-rejection medications and he will be on it for the rest of his life. There's lots of minerals and everything just to make sure that his body stays strong as well.
Right. So yeah, first thing I would say is minerals, of course, because that keeps your tissues nice and juicy and it prevents them from getting rigid in older age and all of that. So minerals are super important. Where the machine would support him, I wouldn't do anything crazy, of course, like we've talked about, no high levels, but a low level session is going to help him immensely because you're going to be improving circulation as a whole. And when you improve the circulation everywhere, oxygen gets to more places and he's going to need that oxygen. That's what's going to keep him alive longer is keeping those organs nice and oxygenated and all the nutrients being delivered, the hydration, all of that improves exponentially by being on the machine. Even we have video, I'm sure Tracey can show you, just a 20-minute session improves that cellular conductivity. You can see it on the screen. The cells moving around like they should. They're not sticking together. And then further than that, you know, a lot of those anti-rejection injection medications are extremely hard on the organs. So it's also going to protect and kind of be like a prophylactic type thing for other damage on those organs. It's a supportive terrain thing for the whole body.
Okay. And which machine do you suggest that I would get for him first?
I would do a base model with him because he's had such an extreme surgery. The base model is the lower pulse. It's a lighter pulse. It's more gentle on the system.
Okay.
The plus is great too, but I prefer the base model with extreme cases like his.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is Tracey back?
Oh, yes, I was talking away again.
Yeah,
Now,
no, I was like, I think she's muted.
I thought we were ready to pack up, but we're coming in hot. We've got Helen back again.
Okay.
Helen, were you wanting to? Yeah, there you go.
Yes. It's kind of a question, but also a little bit of a testimonial. And it's interesting, it's after the heart thing. My brother is a really, really big man, like probably 150 kilos, and he's about 6'6". And his body is a complete mess. He's got a blocked heart valve, but it's not blocked enough for them to put a stent in. So when I visited him last time, I said, "Oh, do you want to have a go?" And he's like, because I was there at an event, and you could see him rolling his eyes going, "I'll do this because you're my sister." So I put him on for 5 minutes on one and finished. And he started rubbing the bottom of his feet. And I said, "What are you doing, you egg?" He says, "Oh, this feels really weird." I said, "What do you mean?" And then he rubbed it on the carpet. He said, "I can feel my feet." So and I said, "I didn't realize you couldn't." And he said, "Well, nah, neither did I." So I was only there for 4 days. And because he's got this heart thing, I only did 5 minutes, and I only did it on level 1. The other thing that he did was he was watching TV, and he's got dogs, and he had his feet on the ottoman, and one of the dogs came around and licked his foot, and he jumped, and his partner just cracked up because he's never done that before. So part of it is this safe for my brother? And the other thing is, and I was correct in just doing 5 minutes on one, because I've sent him a machine and I've said just do 5 minutes just on one. But I'm hearing now that I might actually send him some of these ionic minerals as well because of the heart thing.
Yeah. So yeah, his body's responding awesomely. That's a great encouraging sign. That means that the oxygen is returning to those cells and those nerves, and he's getting feeling back because they're firing properly once again, just with 5 minutes, which is crazy. So yeah, with him, with the clogged heart, I'm not worried about the clogged heart, like, doing anything too much for that. In fact, it's actually going to help with that. There are studies that show that it breaks down plaques in the arterial walls. I've seen people that have had, heart disease come back to, normal heart function with these machines. So it's very, very cardiovascular supportive, but you're absolutely right to take it slow with him and just let, his body do the talking. So yeah, the general rule that I follow with clients is, like, say he did a level 1 for 5 minutes twice a day for 3 days. If he's feeling good, he's coasting, add another 5 minutes, on day 4. And then just kind of go from there, but just slowly ease it up and he'll do great. He's going to do great. His body's already showing signs of that.
Okay. And if we've got time, his partner hopped on as well. No, she didn't want to use the machine because she'd been thrown across the room by one 20 years ago. So she's got this terror of heat on things. So I said, would you like to put the massaging belt on? She had one session front and back because she's got a buggered back and she's got UTIs and all sorts of stuff. Next day, she said to me, "What have you done to me, Helen?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I do 1 poo every 3 days. I've done 5 today." She did 10 over a 24-hour period. She said she felt so good. So we just need to not underestimate the power of these devices. And that shaken blew me away. So thank you.
The shaken.
Amazing.
Yeah, the shaken's awesome. So a lot of people with sluggish guts are going to have that fermented poo that gets stuck and they don't even realize it's there until they do something that knocks it loose, like the shaken. And yeah, that's awesome because that means that the electrical conductivity in her intestine and her colon started contracting the way it should, and it's getting all that residual poo that's just been kind of sitting in there out, which is amazing for your gut health. Like it all just has a cascade effect after that. So that's so cool.
Well, this was when I was staying with them because I was doing an event, and she rang me about 5 or 6 days ago and said, "Do you think you could send some stuff down because we really want to have another go, Helen?" So I've sent her a brand new shaken because I know she'll keep it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, thank you so much again. I'll be quiet now, and I'm from New Zealand.
Oh no, thank you so much for sharing. I love hearing stories like that. It never gets old. You know, I've worked with hundreds of people over 3 years and it never gets old. I love hearing it.
Yeah.
And
She
we
also
love
has
it.
she's also been bleeding for 16 weeks. She's 65 and the doctor told her she'd bleed for about 6 months. Apparently there's some uterine thickening or something. The next day she told me that she'd stopped bleeding, which is equally as cool.
So cool. I was going to say before, Helen, we love a good poo story. Poo is what makes the world go round, and we cannot have a call without a good poo story.
It's very true.
The amount of people in the world that don't poo, blows my mind, Stace. It's so dangerous.
Right.
So
it is.
She's a nurse. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you haven't got the shits, have you?" And she says, "Oh no, they're fully formed poos. You know, the ones that fill up the toilet and you flush and it goes to the top and you think, oh my God, it's not going to flow over, and then it goes down the bottom." So that was my story at the event. It was hilarious.
That's great. Sorry, my dog's being mouthy.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet now.
Now we've got Robin. Thank you.
All very inspiring. Mine isn't quite as graphic. All I'd like to know, and just your comments on Parkinson's disease and how this device, got a ex-brother-in-law who has it, and I'm wanting to just prepare a proposal of an information that can support it. I have been doing some PubMed studies, but I would love some of your insights there.
So Parkinson's is all about neuroplasticity, and the neurons stop firing the way that they're supposed to, and that's exactly where voltage comes into play, because the brain needs that voltage and that electricity to tell everything else in the body how to behave. So I don't know if you know much about my story, but I actually had tremors. I actually had speech aphasia. I had signs and symptoms of Parkinson's. And then I was also friends with some people that had like full-blown Parkinson's from their shots, right? And the person that I actually was inspired to try the tech from was one of the coolest things ever. He went from, not being able to barely find his center of gravity to jogging within a week. So this technology is amazing for restoring that neuroplasticity and that the way that the neurosynapses fire and communicate with the rest of the body. Excellent for that. Excellent. After we hang up, Tracey I can send you that video. You got to see it. And that's really my dog. That is the coolest way to get people to understand how powerful this is sometimes to just show them. And I have actually a video with not one but two people with Parkinson's experiencing amazing results within a very short window of time.
Amazing. Thank you. We need more of you.
I need to carbon copy myself. I wish I could. I don't know what my dog is doing. He's literally trying to get on my shoulder. I'm like, sir, I'm busy.
So will you send that to Tracey, and maybe I can connect with you, Tracey? That would be really much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try to dig up the clips so that you guys can make your own. So yeah, I'll make sure I get on that after the call for sure.
Thanks so much.
It's very impactful stuff.
And this call obviously is recorded, and I'll have it turned around today. So our American friends on the call, it'll be there when you get up in the morning. And Aussies, it will be there before the sun goes down, I promise. So you don't have to inbox me. This is what happens when we have a great call. Tracey, where's that call? Where's that call? Don't worry, it's coming.
She's on it. She's so good at getting the calls turned around so fast. Yeah, she'll get it for you guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
it's
has been
fun.
so fun. I'm so excited. I'm glad that I got to come.
These tools are what makes us the world go around for us in our businesses, and to share the voices of somebody with someone with so much experience, 3 years experience in this company is, and her knowledge. You can see Stacee is actually a genius, like proven her IQ. She is actually a genius, and she understates herself, but she's bloody brilliant. And yeah, thanks, Ricky. Ricky's on too. Look, this call will be the first of many. Yes, we will have Stacee on a little bit more regularly. She's had a little break from calls, but she's back, and
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
do this again. Yep, it'll be on YouTube, Kirst. Just before we go, we're finished with the questions. Otherwise, Stacey will never get to bed. But I just want to make sure there's no other questions in here that were important. There was a child question. These ones again. Caution, ask a physician. However, we have heard testimonials around the age of 10. Yes, shorter. Kids know themselves. They're so much more intuitive than us. If he wants to get off when he's finished, he gets off when he's finished. One thing I really want to bring home on the subject of kids, to avoid saying, no, you haven't been on there long enough. Keep your feet on there, because kids know when they're done, and so will animals. Like Stacey's dog just got off then. The cat will get on on your knee, and the dog, and if they want to get off, let them go, because as I said, they're more intuitive than us. So proceed with caution, and it's mum's decision at the end of the day, and we can't give advice that goes against what we see on the printout when we receive our machines. So
Correct.
Elizabeth, you sneak in one more. She's got her hand up, so we'll let her have one more little one.
It was just a question I'd put in the chat before, and I thought I'll grab it while we've got the chance.
Yep.
About amalgamated, mercury in the teeth, and someone saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be on the electrical thing while you've got an amalgamation tooth." What's your thoughts?
I don't believe in that. So, my son decided to eat my teeth when I was pregnant with him. And I went from having 0 cavities, ever having a filling, to having like 20 within a year, because I didn't know this at the time, but minerally deficient. And so that pregnancy highlighted that fact, and my teeth went soft. And so, yeah, I'm full of metal, full of it. Never had an issue. If someone's super paranoid about it, if it's something that's going to really unsettle them, they can use a binder, but I've never had an issue, and I have hundreds of clients with fillings that have no issue as well.
Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, so we will finish up here, but before we do, let's give Stace all the hearts on the screen, because we bloody love her, and I can tell how excited you all are, and you've all stayed with the call for an hour, and I know it's late over there. There you go, Stace. Look at all those. Thank you. We
Thank you, guys.
appreciate you. Your knowledge is so valuable, and you've got to be careful what you wish for now, because we put this call together, and now there's going to have to be more, because they're not going to let you go.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm happy to do it, because I'm only one person. I can only reach so many people. And, I didn't learn this stuff overnight. So anything that I can teach to people to help them get past the hump, because it can be intimidating. There's a lot to learn. I would love to do these calls regularly and answer questions for people, because something that might take you 3 days to figure out, I can answer within minutes. So, I'm here to support everybody for sure.
Yay. Well, thank you so much again from everybody. And thanks for jumping on the call, guys. The YouTube is coming, I promise, and talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye, Tracey. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Thank you.